This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Monday, May 6th, 2024. I'm Kate Sharon. The Indiana District Export Council is hosting the Doing Business with ASEAN conference Wednesday in Fort Wayne to make businesses in Indiana and neighboring states aware and prepared to take advantage of the economic opportunities with countries in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Export Council Chair Andrew Reinke talks about the council's role as well as Indiana's export potential.
We're here to promote exporting, as I mentioned, as a very viable way to grow the state's economy. So we're doing a good job with exporting, but frankly, for a number of reasons, we should be and can be and must be doing more as a state. That export figure of 56 billion should easily be north of 100 billion.
The council says it aims to break any stereotypes organizations might have about doing business with several countries comprising the region. Former U.S. Ambassador to Vietnam and the Philippines will give the keynote speech at the conference. He currently serves as president of the U.S. ASEAN Business Council. Scott Glaze, chairman of Fort Wayne Metals, will give the second keynote. Sessions include an overview of the markets, risk management, and payments. Participants will also hear from a U.S. commercial liaison to Asian Development Bank. Weaver Popcorn Manufacturing is investing $22 million to enhance its operations in the Grant County town of Van Buren, the company said Monday. Plans call for the addition of state-of-the-art packaging and food processing technology, as well as new production lines and 45 high-tech jobs. The Van Buren campus includes 2 manufacturing plants and a corn processing facility that the company said has received more than $16 million in upgrades in the last 2 years. More than a year after its acquisition by Marion-based Indiana Wesleyan University, Indianapolis-based 1150 Academy is rolling out big future-focused changes. Perhaps the most significant, the school has begun focusing its instruction on topics related to artificial intelligence and pulling back on the coding and cybersecurity bootcamp-style courses on which it built its name. Other changes in the works at 1150 include moving away from its 12 to 15-week bootcamp format in favor of shorter courses and changing its marketing strategy, including a likely name change for the school. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Indiana, your bold future starts here. IBJ Media, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indiana Economic Development Corporation invite you to the Engage Indiana series, presented by CareSource, Indiana University, and Old National Bank. With an unrelenting focus on growing Indiana's economy, our Engage Indiana events take place in every region of the state. Discover when we'll be in your area at ibj.com/engage.
Tomorrow is primary election day, but who votes? IIB's Alex Brown on who decides Indiana's elections.
Indiana voter turnout rates have long been among the lowest in the country. Despite that, some Hoosier voters cast ballots year after year, and political parties rely on them. It's a small percentage of people, particularly in Indiana, which ranked second to last in the country for turnout in the 2022 election. The overwhelming indicator of a sustained political participant is age. Voters 50 and older are often the majority of the electorate, according to AARP data. Voters older than 65 were particularly enthusiastic. The vast majority of voters over the age of 50 are white, 91%. Slightly more are women, 52%. Most haven't gone to college, 66%, and most live in the suburbs, 63%, or rural areas, 35%. However, Indiana's 2 major political parties say widespread appeal powers their efforts. Indiana Democratic Party Executive Director Dana Colbert said they want to appeal to all voters. Hoosier Democrats look to younger residents and also find non-white voters, and specifically black voters, a strength. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Sortera Technologies Incorporated, an industrial scrap metal recycling company headquartered in the northeast Indiana town of Markle, has appointed Kurt Sachs as Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. Sachs most recently served as CFO of Zero Motorcycles in California. Sortera said Monday that Sachs will lead the finance team as the company expands its commercialization work and reach across the country. North Point Elementary School in Granger was among only a dozen schools in the U.S. to receive a financial award in the National Lieutenant Governors Association 2024 STEM Scholarship Program. The $500 award will help create and equip a science, technology, engineering, and math lab at the school and further integrate the use of robotics and coding tools into the curriculum. In case you missed it, the business of motorsports means big business in Indianapolis as the month of May begins, and there are indications this month could be another good one at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The Sansio Grand Prix on the IMS road course takes place this weekend, with opening day for the Indianapolis 500 activities set for May 14th. IMS President Doug Bowles said ticket sales for this year's 500 are up 15,000 units from last year. Horizon League Commissioner Julie Rowe Lotch is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, entertainment, and beyond, available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Kate Sharon for Inside Indiana Business, Radio on Demand.